According to the Associated Press, Japan Prime Minister Yukio Hatoyama has pledged to, quote, start from scratch in re-examining Japan's military realignment deal with the U.S. This is the same deal that will send at least 8,000 Marines and their 9,000 dependents to Guam. In this deal, the Futenma Marine Corps Air Base is to be moved to a coastal area that is home to the endangered dugong. Locals in Japan have opposed this move, citing the effects it will have on the endangered dugong. On the other hand, the U.S. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates has said that without the Futenma move, there will be no movement of Marines to Guam. So will this move occur or not? According to a statement released by Joint Guam Program Office Executive Director David Bice, no plans have changed. Bice states, quote, as you know, Secretary Gates' position regarding Futenma replacement facility is firm. In the meantime, we are planning to award construction contracts for both U.S. and Government of Japan-funded projects as soon as the record of decision is signed later this year. You will recall, Government of Japan has deposited $336 million for fiscal year 2009 for Guam projects. We are managing those funds. We have already started to execute some of those funds with design contracts, end quote. While Gates is firm about moving Futenma, some members of Hatoyama's cabinet have suggested that the entire Futenma base be moved to Guam, along with 8,000 Marines that are already slated to come here. We asked Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo about her thoughts. In a statement, the Congresswoman says, quote, I do not support the relocation of the Futenma replacement facility to Guam. I echo the governor's sentiment that there is no room for additional military forces above what is outlined in the current draft environmental impact statement, end quote. As far as whether or not Japan and the U.S. will come to an agreement over Futenma, the Congresswoman says, quote, when such a review is complete in May, we hope that Prime Minister Hatoyama will conclude that the current Futenma replacement facility location as stipulated in the agreement is the best option available, end quote. So if both Japan and the U.S. government don't budge on Futenma, will this stop the movement of Marines to Guam? UOG Professor of International and Comparative Politics Dr. Michael Stoyle says it probably won't.
Well, it shouldn't. The 8,000 Marines who are moving from Okinawa to Guam really have very little to do with the Futenma Air Base. The new thinking is that we should concentrate command and control operations for our forces in the Western Pacific on sovereign U.S. territory. And Guam is the sovereign U.S. territory in the Western Pacific.
So why is Secretary Gates calling Futenma the linchpin? Dr. Stoyle says Gates is simply politicking because the U.S. government doesn't have the money right now to move Futenma off of Okinawa completely. So in the end, if Japan doesn't agree to the Futenma move, Dr. Stoyle says it probably won't change Washington's mind about the Guam buildup, but it may delay the buildup until the U.S. can afford it. Clint Mergel, PNC News.